Is it, you want to? Good evening, everyone. Gardner City Council will come to order. I invite everybody to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I wanted to mention just really briefly and perhaps ask everybody to join me and another Navy veteran, Councilmember Kodovich, in a moment of silence in remembrance of the 12 people that were killed at the Washington, D.C. Navy Yard. Thank you, everyone. First order of business this evening is a presentation. These are respondents from our, please, these are respondents to our RFP for City Attorney Services. Cheryl, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and members of Council. I'd like to take a moment to just briefly recap for the benefit of the public the process that we've gone through to get to tonight's presentation. On July 15th, the City Council authorized the issuance of an RFP for legal services for the city. On the 19th of July, the staff issued the RFP, and it was posted in the following publications: the League of Kansas Municipalities, the Kansas Bar Association, the Johnson County Bar Association, and the Missouri Bar Association. We received a total of 6 RFPs from law firms throughout the state. We narrowed the list down to 3 firms to come in and present their firm qualifications to the mayor and I. After the review of the presentations and the review of the material that's presented to you, we selected 2 firms to present their firm qualifications to you tonight. The process will be for tonight. We've asked each of those firms to provide a 10 to 15-minute presentation to you. We'll have both of them present. Afterwards, we will be seeking council's direction and input for question and answer or for authorization to begin negotiations with either one or both of those firms or other firms that you might want to hear from those who submitted RFPs.
Thank you, Cheryl. I see we've got the Hardwick team in the house.
A little slow on the ride here. Bear with me.
Still wearing the brace?
Still wearing the brace. I was hoping I would be emancipated from it this evening, but I've got 2 more weeks yet to go. Good evening, everybody. Allison Bergman with the Hardwick Law Firm. I have with me Herb Hardwick, founder of the firm, Gene Matsetter, and Mark Stiles, and we'll just take a second to introduce ourselves before we get into our presentation. Again, my name is Allison Bergman. I've been an attorney for about 16 years. I worked at Lathrop & Gage for about 14. Prior to that, Stinson, Morrison, and Hecker. I was in the Army JAG Corps for a while, too, but I don't look at an olive green, so I decided not to go that route with my career. I primarily focus on real estate development. I have a lot of transportation background, having represented some railroads many years ago. And with that, I'll just turn it over to Mark. He can introduce himself.
Good evening. My name is Mark Stiles, Jr. I'm a senior associate at the Hardwick Law Firm. Prior to joining the firm, I worked at Shook, Hardy & Bake and also worked for the Jackson County Courthouse, where I was able to gain valuable experience as far as litigation. I represent as the firm's litigator, especially in the real estate area. And I have been there almost a little over 4 years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gene Matsetter. I've been practicing for about 30 years, primarily in private practice and law firms in the area of municipal finance. I also served as Chief Environmental Counsel with the Corps of Engineers for about 4 years.
Good evening. I'm Herb Hardwick, founder of the Hardwick Law Firm. I've been practicing law since 1989. I focus primarily on real estate and finance matters. Happy to be here this evening and look forward to making this presentation to you.
And I was remiss for not doing the same and thanking you for inviting us back. We really do appreciate the opportunity to be here. In a nutshell, and I hope each of you has a copy of the handout that we brought with us.
We do.
Okay, great. We are a nationally recognized public and private finance firm. I'm not going to read the PowerPoint verbatim, but I wanted to be sure to highlight that because we're proud of our awards, or at least I am. We have specialties serving both on large and small-scale projects, and we have a specific emphasis on representing public municipalities and private developers that are doing real estate development projects with municipalities. We have extensive experience in project financing, and Herb and Jean are going to talk about that more in a little bit.
One of the things as a boutique firm that we're very, very proud of is that we practice in several jurisdictions. Not only do we practice in Missouri and Kansas, but we also do that in Illinois, Indiana, New York, and Connecticut. We believe that that experience allows us to bring a different perspective, best practices, new structures to our clients, and help us to be more valuable to you as our clients here in the Midwest. We found that to be very, very valuable, and our clients appreciate that. Additionally, with that, we serve and represent certain cities such as Newton, Kansas, Gary, Indiana, Kansas City, Missouri, and we also represent a host of political subdivisions, Kansas City, Missouri Port Authority, Chicago O'Hare Airport, Kansas City, Missouri School District Building Corp., and we've done many different things for those political entities.
And I would just touch on the fact that not only do we do project financing and development for these various entities, but we also do general real estate work, master planning work, some studies. We're involved in some right now that we can go into. I wanted to tap, if I may for a moment, just specifically to the RFP that you issued and our talents and skills that we believe are fungible to be serving as your city attorney. We have an extensive background in business transactions, commercial development, as I mentioned, as well as corporate and litigation, as well as governance. I have represented many clients for whom I would have to do all of their, I'll refer to them as their shareholder books, their proxies, their equivalent to their ordinances and resolutions. And so we understand the importance of that, and we've done that for many clients over the term of many years. We have a niche specialty, as I mentioned, in real estate development. I think that Herb and I, between the two of us, could stand up here for a long time and bore you with all the neat transactions that we think that we've done across Missouri and Kansas. Some of those obviously have had to do with zoning and code modifications and things that are specific to what municipalities have to work on. Herb has some experience as well in annexation, beg your pardon. Herb and Jean both, I wish I could add this to my resume, not quite so quickly, but they are the experts in finance, and so they can really talk more about that. And we also have extensive experience in public-private partnerships. I have worked a lot in doing public-private partnerships, not only on behalf of cities, but also for transportation entities. I've done a lot of work with Amtrak and with, in fact, we worked on a Tiger grant. I was one of the co-authors in drafting the Tiger 1 application for Kansas City, Missouri, where they were actually able to garner about a $30+ million award for some development work there.
In addition to that, we're very skilled and very experienced with respect to serving as counsel on behalf of political subdivisions, cities and municipalities. We've done that kind of work for many agencies over the years. Preparation of resolutions, ordinances, and legislation, review of federal and state laws, and also we've been involved with master planning and zoning initiatives that Allison mentioned earlier. In addition to that, we have significant experience with respect to public finance, public projects, contracting, and incentives. Our experience is a little bit broader with respect to, in addition to finance, we're also involved in contract dispute, employment law, and eminent domain matters.
Yeah, I'd just like to circle back on that. When I was a puppy lawyer, back when I was still a redhead, I did some employment litigation at Stinson, Morrison & Hecker. At the time, it was Morrison & Hecker. And so I represented in a defense capacity employers that were defending employment litigation matters. Also, both at my prior firm and at this firm, have worked on some eminent domain. In my prior firm life, I represented utility companies on eminent domain matters. I also had occasion, however, to represent the property owners, so I like to fancy myself as knowing the tricks of the trade on both sides of the fence. In representing a lot of industrial clients, I have become familiar with all of the nuances of having to work with APWA, environmental issues, Section 404 permits, if that's something that's within your arsenal of nomenclature that you want to throw around like little short terms. So we're familiar with that, working that quite often. You want to take this?
As mentioned earlier, we have tremendous experience in sales, leasing, zoning, and land use. We've done that in connection with industrial parks, hotels, mixed-use projects, both in cities and in rural areas. We also even